going into this particular season, all of us were of the same opinion that last season wasn't a season where you would judge Ten Hag for the way that you have played. And Ineos has come in, and there is a structure change, which is what you wanted. And now that when that is in place, and then Ten Hag also, in a sense, has kind of his own squad to play. We were of an opinion that okay, Ten Hag should have this whole season, right? But you just couldn't take off. That
Yeah.
being one problem. Okay, I feel like that you had a little bit of confidence, but now that the things have changed, and like the new coach is going to come in, I see a little bit of doubt in you, in a sense that maybe you also do not think that that United could have gone with Ten Hag. Are you still of that opinion? Are you happy with the manager change, or you just wanted Ten Hag to continue?
Look, to be very honest with you, Jitin, whatever was made out in the media, don't actually directly blindly buy into that,
Mm-hmm.
because all everyone wants to talk about is league position of United
Mm-hmm.
and Ten Hag's communication.
ठीक है.
These are the two things that
And the
actually brought
money he
about his
spent.
downfall. Because
Although also Anthony, yeah, Anthony spent.
because what happened is, when you're not doing well, when everything is analyzed at a microscopic level, because when you're losing, you get asked the tougher questions, and when he was getting asked tougher questions, he was totally getting into a territory where he was completely delusional.
Hmm.
Every press conference, he was being asked, "What is your style? What are you playing? Why
Hmm.
is there so many open spaces in midfield,
Trust the
etc., etc."
process.
He
Hmm.
kept referring to process. He kept referring to a plan. He kept
Hmm.
referring to his two trophies that he has won
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
last two seasons.
Hmm.
So while he was referring that, he was also saying, "Just allow me some time. Let's
Hmm.
discuss this towards the end of the season." But
Hmm.
everyone in the room knew that time was ticking unless we got the wins. The
Hmm.
problem is that we actually, in the season, he got sacked in the 8 games that he played. We actually played well in the 6 of those games.
Okay.
Only 2 games that we did not play well. Out of that, one was a red card. That is a different topic altogether.
Hmm.
Only bad game, the deserved loss, was the Liverpool game.
Hmm.
And purely based on the first half against Spurs, he should have been sacked. But again, but again,
He
he
disregarded
was
the game,
hard
by
done
the
by a
way.
decision. He was hard
He
done by a
disregarded that
decision.
game. He said,
Huh?
रेड कार्ड मिला है तो मैं तो डिसरिगार्ड कर रहा है.
मैं कंसिडर
Remember
नहीं
that
करता
talk?
हूँ भाई,
Like I said,
मानते
he
नहीं
was
ऐसा गेम
totally
हुआ.
getting into a delusion kind of a territory where you just don't see what to say.
Hmm.
ऐसा है, but other games, let's say Villa game, or let's say the game against Brighton, where
Hmm.
Zugzi stopped a goal that was going inside the net. It was not intentional, of course, but matlab, luck also did not favor the game. West Ham, you should have seen that penalty call. It's one of the most horrendous penalties. I mean, not one single soul. If मतलब कंट्रोवर्सी कब होता है, जब एक सेट ऑफ पीपल आर सेइंग अरे नहीं नहीं छोटा कांटेक्ट है, पेनल्टी तो है. देयर इज वन सेट ऑफ पीपल जहां बोल रहे हैं कि नहीं नहीं ये मिनिमल कांटेक्ट है.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if you have seen the action or not. Not a
Hmm.
single soul was even debating कि ये penalty है या नहीं.
Hmm.
Then you feel in your heart that you're hard done by. Not like
Hmm.
those Arsenal fouls where not तू बोल रहा है नहीं ये छोटा कांटेक्ट है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ज्यादा कांटेक्ट है. उसमें डिबेट ही नहीं था. And for the first time I saw the whole world unite for a decision.
But maybe
कोई
it was
Arsenal
blessing in
fan नहीं, Spurs
disguise.
fan नहीं.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
you have not seen the action for sure. I
Okay.
know that. If you see that, you'll be embarrassed about following Premier League in the first.
Okay.
Forget about other things.
Oh, no. The referees give us a lot more chances for that.
But then in hindsight, United fans were like, I guess this could be a game, a loss where he finally goes.
Okay.
That was the sentiment of the year.
Okay.
Mera sentiment, if you ask me as a fan, I wanted the man to go down fighting.
ठीक है.
But they literally cut his legs and hands off. All the
ठीक है.
limbs off basically.
Hmm.
And उसके लिए मेरे को 5 मिनट बुरा लगा बस when he was sacked. 5 मिनट. Okay. कि
So much for loyalty, man.
yeah, 5 मिनट बुरा लगा. But then when I saw the league table and
The fickleness of the
because
fans.
this season it's no more about the injuries because we actually have good solid players.
Mm-hmm.
And playing like that did not justify the results. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was horrendous. That's why it's only for the better that we just got a new coach, and that was inside 5 days. No, actually, the next day we are in conversation with the new coach, and it took a couple of days
Yeah, I
for.
think
That's
it
generally
was
how it happens, you
already
know. You
already
go
done now.
into a shop, you pay a lot of money, you get the stuff that you like. So that's generally how it doesn't
You
take too
get
much
the
time.
new toy.
Yeah, you get the new toy. But
Yeah.
yeah, Manish,
Yeah.
to what I want to understand, I guess, now that you are left with a squad that is built in an image of Ten Hag, at least hypothetically, because it's just players. I mean, Abhi कुछ देर पहले we were talking, and I think all of us accepted that United is the best place to go at this moment because there is no identity. But let's just assume that it is still at the identity of Ten Hag. Like the new coach when he comes in, do you think that he can work with what he has, because it's not a bad squad, okay, but the kind of coach is different. Can you still work with the players that you have? How do you think this the rest of the season going down now?
See, he has to work with what he has got now because he cannot be given new players.
Mm-hmm.
We have already we have already spent so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So he has to work with these resources only. And there
Mm-hmm.
might be like before getting him on board, they would have discussed this that okay, we have so and so players, and you have a particular like what we know that he plays three at the back.
Mm-hmm.
And does United have those players, and will it work out?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to understand this has been already ये repeat हो चुका है मतलब ये repeat
Mm-hmm.
हो रहा है. Like there was a very renowned manager called Louis van Gaal. He came in.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
said, "I will be playing three at the back because I have reached the semi-finals of World Cup with this formula, and yeah, this is a proven thing, and we'll go with possession football and all that." And
Okay.
it took 45 minutes for Louis van Gaal to understand this doesn't work out. In his first match in the Premier League, he started three at the back against Swansea. We went one goal down, and after the halftime, he switched back to four at the back. So this has happened. So this is a reminder for all of you that this has happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the new manager he plays, and we all know that out of his 188 matches in Sporting, he has played with three at the back in almost every game. Like
Okay.
I mean, every game, I suppose.
Every
Only
game.
the
Yeah.
3-5-2 and 3-4-3 was the variant. Yeah, okay. So I think he will go with that. And there is also a like there is an understanding and there is a perception that this guy is a tactician. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you might say that you are hearing this again because that's what we said when Eric Ten Hag came in. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So if someone has played all his matches three at the back, I suppose he will do that here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing, like, okay, we do have those players.
Okay.
It has to click, and it will require some matches and some more practice session and all that. So it will be interesting for us as well to see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be surprised if he switches to a back four because he has to like survive and he has not survive. He has many ideas. It's not that a coach will always depend on like three at the back, and it's not like वो वैसे ही खेला ऐसा नहीं है ना भाई मतलब he might have different ideas. So we
No,
are
with
expecting some changes as well.
Okay.
And for the season, we think that as a United fan, we think that okay, this will be a new manager bounce, and we might get a better position than what would have happened if Ten Hag would have stayed. If Ten Hag would
Mm-hmm.
have stayed, we were not sure to get a very good position on the table. And
Mm-hmm.
keeping in mind that we need to get top four to to cover up what are the money we have spent. So
Mm-hmm.
if Ten Hag was in charge, we were not sure of getting that top four. Now we
Okay.
are hopeful, and it is a very good reason because the manager bounce, a new manager bounce, and every team goes through that cycle, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what we are expecting. So let us see
actually
how
the
it
thing
goes.
is that it's also a matter of when you scout managers, right? It is a matter of on what parameters are you choosing a manager, right?
Okay.
Eric Ten Hag was chosen because at that time he was a hot property in Europe. As
Okay.
simple as that. तुम
Okay.
अगर जाके आज Amorim का stats compare करोगे, number of wins percentage, and just compare Eric Ten Hag's. Both are exactly the same. In fact, Eric Ten Hag had one more win than him. If you directly compare the stats, they were that good.
But Amorim won the league title with Sporting, which Sporting had not won for a long period of time.
Yes.
Because the bigger teams
19
in that
years.
league were Porto
Correct.
and Benfica.
Correct.
Whereas Ten
And
Hag, he was with Ajax.
yes, so
फर्क है.
different ball game because it was much more difficult for Amorim at Sporting
Yes.
because the sentiment it's more or less similar to what United are right now. When he
Like they
comes
hadn't
in,
won
he's going
one
to
for
have same
19
problem.
years.
Yeah. So the thing is that you know we had totally ignored certain things because हम fans कुछ हद तक ही सोच सकते हैं. जब एरिक टेन हाग आया था, I was just recalling those days कि भाई मस्त बंदा है, ये खेलेगा, ऐसा टैक्टिक्स खेलेगा. But this guy comes and says, I cannot play the Ajax way. Then my question in my mind is, जब उसको हायर किया, क्या बात की है? बस ऐसे ही टकला, सर पे बाल नहीं है, सोच के हायर कर लिए क्या कि भाई तू मस्त
पैप
कर
लगा
दे.
होगा उनको दूर
So
से.
ये level of analysis you obviously did not expect when the Glazers were there because they always went for the shiny stuff. यूरोप पे किसका चर्चा हो रहा है उसको ले आओ so that commercially we will be up there at least.
Okay.
Now with Amorim क्या है कि they have checked him at least on several other parameters. What is his hold in English? How has he performed? 3 at the back ये squad कितना sync में आ सकता है? Whatever parameters. It is about what data points have you picked up in choosing him. And obviously from what I have been reading about him, what I have all the anecdotes from his past, जो भी किया है, player management ये वो, because sporting से आ रहा है. और sporting में Portuguese players we also have. Bruno Fernandes himself has said that मैं हर sporting game follow करता हूँ. Because he said Sporting is his team in Portugal because he came from there, right? He's a proper fan of Sporting. So he has seen every game. तो ये सब player insights वगैरह से पता चलता है कि what to expect from the new manager. Also, Amit also was sharing off discussion as well, which was again I was looking forward to knowing that side of him, that how he treats players. What is the level of favoritism he has in picking squad? ये सब टेन हाग के प्रॉब्लम्स थे यार because he gave players in a sport like football you cannot keep playing a certain player for 10 different games when he's not performing. You need to refresh the squad, right?
रोनाल्डो को बिठा दिया था यार लड़के ने.
हाँ मतलब
Yeah, and also
रोनाल्डो
there's
को
one
बैठा
more
दिया था
point
because
like
वो
there.
press नहीं कर रहा
I
था.
would actually like to talk to Manideep about that question. You think that these are the players he's going to have? No, brother. As soon as he's coming in, they're already linked to that Kvicha guy from Napoli, right? 90 million dude. They'll get linked to Gaikores because he's the hot property in Sporting. They will probably not get him. But Kvicha, I think they've actually inquired about him. And that's a 90
Only if
million.
Rashford leaves.
Rajesh, one question I have ki, see, you're saying ki all the stats they have pulled all the tactics, ki kaisa hai, he is good, because Ineos is too great that they will do all the research and all those things, we completely understand. He was available during summer as well, right? Because nothing changes, right? साथ बीच season में छोड़ने का कोई मतलब नहीं. He would also have preferred कि यार summer में उठाओ तो I would have a window and to work with and all that. If all these stats were backing him, if all of these ideologies कि हाँ 3 at the back भी खेलता, maybe he would have spended some money जो भी यहाँ Matthias de Ligt वगैरह पे गया, he would spend it to make a team that suits it. तो अगर ये ऐसी कंडीशन होती कि yes Amorim suits our system, Amorim is the one to look forward, stats back कर रहे हैं उसको, everything is so good, he would have gone for him on in the summer window itself. This time it looks more like a desperate time, desperate measures to me. कि लाना तो है ही, अभी देखो available है, कौन best available है, because there is lot of backlash from fans, everybody is not happy with the performance, अच्छा league table नहीं चल रहा, all those things. Is it more like a desperate times, desperate measures thing right now?
नहीं, the thing is that okay, I hope you are able to digest the simple answer here. The simple answer is that in the summer he was an option. Being an option and getting a manager are two different things. The only manager we concretely wanted to replace Ten Hag, which is out in the public, is everyone knows
Tuchel.
and is well documented, is Tuchel.
Hmm.
Maybe you can come and say कि भाई Tuchel शायद पहला ऑप्शन था, Amorim सेकंड था, Amorim के साथ कांटेक्ट नहीं किए. So we rated Tuchel highly than Amorim. You can say that. Again, that's a theory. But now अभी कैसा हुआ? I know desperate attempt है ये, but desperate attempt नहीं है. तुम कभी भी you won't move in the market to get a manager if you have not been planning for it since the summer. There are other managers. वो उली होइनेस भी मार्केट में बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, स्टुटगार्ट में मचा रहा है, वो यूवेंटस को रहा है, वो भी बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है. उसको भी ले आ सकते थे because we were
Maybe
into him
maybe
too.
you
But-
just you wanted him before as well. Maybe it was just that Ten Hag winning the
हाँ,
FA Cup.
मतलब तुम ऐसा बोल सकते हो कि इंडिसिसिव थे इनियोस. They were still waiting कि let's not get Amorim yet. ठीक है, let's park that thought, let's give Ten Hag because Tuchel was rated highly, वो वैसे भी नहीं आया, तो Amorim को अभी नहीं लेते. Let's see with Ten Hag whatever decision is. I mean, मैं बस बात कर रहा हूँ. बट अभी जब हुआ, तब जब ये लोग गए Amorim के पास, Amorim actually requested कि can we do a deal where I finish this season and I join you in the summer. And तब इनियोस ने बोला it's now or never. एंड ये मैं थियोरी बना के नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, ये प्रॉपर
हाँ,
फैक्ट्स के
हाँ.
बेसिस पे बात कर रहा हूँ. एंड इट्स नाउ और नेवर इनियोस सेड. एंड एमरिम बोला इट इज अ वंस इन अ lifetime opportunity. If I don't leave now, then I may not get the chance because obviously we might have gotten someone else. So he took that leap. Matlab, at least you all believe, right? United is a big job. And if you really believe that, obviously he will take that leap. I know he would have liked to finish the season with Sporting 100% because they have a real chance of winning a title 3 times in 3 consecutive seasons. ये मजाक नहीं है for a team that
That
has not won in 19 years.
that that feels to me like a really long way of saying that United got desperate and they went and got
No, but
भाई
there's
desperate भी हो गया तो मतलब
नहीं.
मुझे
Like,
समझ
nobody
नहीं
is
आ रहा what is
saying,
the
see,
problem.
thought out.
nobody is
But,
saying कि
absolutely.
you went and got a random Joe. Okay, nobody is saying that.
हाँ,
He's
मैं
a
वही
good,
पूछ रहा हूँ
he's
ना,
a good
अगर
manager.
desperate हुए भी तो
You
प्रॉब्लम
got
क्या है?
him. You got him. ठीक है. United will always get a good manager. उसमें तो कोई दो राय ही नहीं है भाई.
Okay.
लेकिन the thing is ना कि the way you went ना, that just feels so unprepared. Okay, like United historically has a क्या बोलते हैं अपना
Okay,
style
my
of
question
either
to is, why
wasting
do you
money
feel
या
unprepared? When I
time.
just read the article that summer में we were already seeing him.
But
Okay,
वही
dude.
ना, आप
Dude,
you
see,
don't
simple.
understand.
So,
If you
I have another
if
thing
you
to
did
say.
not see Ten Hag as a long-term solution, okay, you sacked him in the mid, right? You don't see him as a good enough. If you thought he was good enough at the start of the season, there
Okay.
is no reason to think that he's not good enough now.
Do you think sacking Ten Hag would have been fair?
Or at the start of the season.
Yes.
If that is your plan, yes.
नहीं, I would
If
have
that
said
is your
yes.
plan.
That was fair.
See, if
Me
your
as a
plan,
fan, I'm telling you.
no.
Me as a fan, I'm telling you, it would not have been unfair. And me as a club, if I'm a fan of a club, I would have told you with the amount of injuries, with the sample space that I had seen of Ten Hag, and with whatever the FA Cup against the Giants, Man City that we won,
Unless and until he does,
considering all that into context, मैं नहीं चाहता था एरिक टेन हैग को
of
जाए.
course,
but
because
that is you. I'm not talking about you. You're not unprepared. We are nobody. Your club is unprepared. That's the thing. If you thought, if your club, when I'm saying you, I mean Man United. Okay. If Man United thought that this is the best Ten Hag could do with this particular squad, they should have sacked him at the start. If they thought he's good enough to take United further, they gave him the budget and then they let him play. Okay. If you're going to let him play, let him play. What are you doing now in the middle of the season when you can't make any signings? You have already done the signings that Ten Hag wanted, and now you're stuck with the team that
That's where
may
you're wrong.
or may
That's where
not
you're
work with
wrong.
Organ.
No, see,
Have
see,
you
see,
made
Signings
see,
signings?
wait.
Okay,
No.
let's
The
just say, have
signings
you
are
made
made by
signings keeping?
Ineos. The
No,
signings
the
are
United
made by
board.
Ineos.
See, if you go back to 2 years ago when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was sacked, we brought in a manager, Ralf Rangnick, and we
Hmm.
said this guy is an interim manager,
Hmm.
and once this season finishes, he'll
Hmm.
become our director of football, and we'll
Hmm.
bring in a coach or slash manager, Eric Ten
Mm-hmm.
Hag, who is a master tactician,
Got
and
it.
this is how we are going to move forward.
Got it.
Then this guy comes up and he says, I'm not the danger. I am like he says, I'm Mr. Walter White. I'm going to
Heisenberg.
decide what's going to happen. Yes, yeah.
Hmm.
See,
Mm-hmm.
so he said, I don't want a director of football above me. I am going to decide everything. So this
Okay.
guy comes up and decides everything. He does this and that. He brings in Anthony for like
100
extra 40
million.
or 40 million. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
The
100
United
million.
way. Yeah,
And he
okay.
The
has
Yeah,
the
United
100
way,
million.
yes.
transfer veto written into his contract.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying extra 40 million. I mean,
Hmm.
that's what I said. मतलब वो the
Mm-hmm.
United way. So
Extra
he
Yeah,
did
yeah.
100
everything,
million
all that.
only.
extra 100 ठीक है correct सही है. So then he wins he gets into top four, and then he in the second season as well the management changes. You all know Ineos took over part of the United, and then we like Ineos step by step installed the board and everything. All the positions were covered. They were not yet fully functional because they were like there was time yet to
Hmm.
like they were fully operational. Once
Mm-hmm.
the season started, it was all fully operational.
Okay.
Eric Ten Hag, his mind was thinking he's Jose Mourinho because he has won two trophies in two seasons with United. So he said
Hmm.
that before the Fenerbahce game, he said, you know, Jose Mourinho and I are same. So I don't know what he was talking about. So
Oh,
he
wow.
said that. So
Wow.
that's what he said. So I'm not making this up. So all these things happened. So the board of the United or the all the positions which were covered, they were in a dilemma that okay, should we sack or should we go? But
Mm-hmm.
as you said, we all agreed upon this. It would have been unfair sacking him. And
Okay.
this guy wanted all the control.
Mm-hmm.
We have set up all the management, and this guy still wants
भाई
controls. That was his way of
सिंपल बात है,
Okay.
सिंपल
working.
बात बताता हूँ.
But
How are we as a club
Amorim,
different from Chelsea?
Mm-hmm.
If
yeah.
we
So
That's
sack Tuchel,
now now if they are sacking Ten Hag and bringing Amorim, so uh, it is not all the responsibilities what Ten Hag was taking care of will be taken care of by this manager.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be taking care of the footballing
Hmm.
side. We can say that, and whatever team we have built, not the people who play, the management team which we
Mm-hmm.
have, they'll do that. So
Okay.
that's why this was a preferable option. Maybe
Okay.
in this summer they were like 50-50 or 60-40 on that, and they would have said, okay, let us see if Ten Hag works out. If the results don't go in our way, then we'll sack him because we cannot wait till half of the season or end of the season to make the decision. We need
Okay.
to get top four this season. So I think this was a backup plan in their mind in the summer. We cannot sack him
Mm-hmm.
right now, but if
Mm-hmm.
the things don't go well, we'll press the switch.
but I
So
guess Jogekar, just another side note, I guess Jogekar did not, you mentioned it, but Jogekar, let me just point out the timelines. Do you know when Ten Hag came, how many months they had spent at the club before when they were having to make these decisions? Only just 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Ashworth came late when the
Mm-hmm.
transfer window had already started.
Okay.
Wilcox came like 10 days before. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you expect these people to, analyze, and all they had to make was a learned decision कि भाई, how can we be fair to this entire situation? Can
Mm-hmm.
we be fair to Ten Hag?
Okay.
Bro, we like United are a historic club. We will never act in a way that Chelsea does. वो बंदा टूशल चैंपियंस लीग जीत के आया एंड दिस गाय बोली removed him. Do
Mm-hmm.
you think United can ever do that? No, we will never do that. We will
Mm-hmm.
at least give. I know it will. I know you can say that तुम जीतोगे कैसे? It is not a fair assessment. But
No,
yeah,
no,
that
there's a way of doing
sometimes
things. I
has to
understand
be a
what
नहीं,
you're
side
saying.
thing.
There's a way of
absolutely.
doing things.
And हाँ, एक मतलब थोड़ा सा if you think about Amorim here, that who the new guy, ठीक है, now we have accomplished कि because people came late, तभी तक analyze करके they have figured out the best suited manager for your team is Amorim, who can replace ETH, and they moved very quickly and get him inside.
Hmm.
But now you have PSR on your head. You cannot buy many players. I don't think in January window. Okay, you did not give summer window to this new manager. I understand that your whole system is built now, and you buy, though they buy player. Manager does not buy player, but that person, sporting director, will also consult with the manager only what kind of player you want, what attributes you want in the player, because he has to play a certain style of football.
Hmm.
So you cannot bring a player that is so generic कि वो मॉरिनियो के लिए भी खेल सकता है एंड एंज के लिए भी खेल सकता है, पेप के लिए खेल सकता है, क्लॉप के लिए खेल सकता है. There are certain profiles of players that each manager would want, and that might not suit with one and the other. ठीक है. So तुम्हारे पास players हैं which may or may not suit Amorim style, may or may not. ठीक है. You don't have enough money to spend on January window. So this whole season is
But why are
somewhere
you focusing on January window? I want to understand that.
No,
because
that is partially
now
because you think the players have been bought as per Tenner's requirement, his play style, and
Correct.
this play style is different.
Exactly.
yes,
See,
yes.
the beauty of Dutch managers is like like not every Dutch manager, but most of the Dutch managers, they prefer multifunctional players. If you
Okay.
like see historically, they
Mhm.
prefer multifunctional players over specialists. So
Yes.
we as United fans know this because we have come across Louis Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho era, where Louis Van Gaal wanted multifunctional players and Jose Mourinho wanted specialists. So if
Mhm.
you see even our right back who we signed, he can play multiple positions. He also played the center attacking midfield for some time. So because these players were not tailor made like specialists
अच्छा.
for
Mhm.
some manager, the Ruben Amorim way can be implemented. See, I'm not saying blindly that it is just a click away and from tomorrow
Yeah.
you'll
Correct.
see Sporting Lisbon playing at Old Trafford. No, it cannot. It will take some time, but we are hopeful because the players are not specialists and Dutch managers like over the like they have a preference to them. So we have some players. We have those players who can do that. That's what
Actually,
we understand,
that
and we might not require new signings in January. So
also,
we are
Amit,
not.
Okay.
United as a club don't do, I mean, historically also don't do transfer business in the January transfer market unless and until absolutely required. Bruno was an exception. Bruno was getting an offer from Spurs, and we had to act really fast for because agent and all those things were involved, and we had to spend money. Again, it was
The
borderline
United
in
way.
terms of PSR regulations and whatnot. So exceptional cases में करते हैं, but as a club historically we don't do business in the January market. जो बन Actually, our players are actually at a much better level in terms of the squad, and you just need some method in this team. That's it. And I am hoping that Amorim will
Yeah.
bring in that method
Yeah, I think the
because
quality of players is there. That is
yes,
true. I think I can draw some parallel with Paratici signing, which has helped Ange into the new system. Like completely we changed, but still few people fitted. So
correct.
yeah, Amorim,
Okay.
if he is a good manager, he can figure out how he
Exactly my
can
point.
make a
Yes,
team out of these players because they have young talent. They
yes.
have bought some good young people. They have some experienced people. I think he can make it work
Also, you have
easily.
to understand that Ugarte, who is a new signing, has actually played for Amorim under Spurs. So जो भी वो परफॉर्म कर रहा है उगाटे वो उसका 5x परफॉर्म करेगा when Amorim comes with if he implements the
Right.
three at the back because एक article was also there assessing player strengths and how everyone will fit. अगर तू डालो को देखेगा he is actually error prone defender, but if you switch him to a back three where he plays as a wide back, you are actually harnessing his midfield and winger qualities. तो वो तो मतलब फिट होगा ना उस सिस्टम में. सेम अप्लाइज टू मैजरावी. तो अगर देखेगा बैकलाइन मुझे लगता है थ्री एट द बैक में वी आर सॉर्टेड. ओनली प्रॉब्लम इज मिडफील्ड एंड अटैक एंड दैट रिमेन्स टू बी सीन हाउ ही implements it.
Okay. So
And
I
another
think
important thing, why this is a good move in terms of bringing him after the international break is 2 हफ्ता मिल जाता है तुम्हें एडजस्ट करने के लिए. और उसके बाद जो हमारे सेट ऑफ गेम्स है ना आफ्टर द ब्रेक देयर आर इजियर गेम्स. मतलब आर्सेनल है शायद आफ्टर द ब्रेक. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट इजियर गेम्स है. ही स्टार्ट
बाउंस वेस्ट हो
फेसिंग
जाएगा क्या?
इप्सविच टाउन. इप्सविच टाउन को वी विल फेस द फर्स्ट गेम. तो कैसा है ना उसका जो बेडिंग इन टाइम भी थोड़ा थोड़ा मिल जाता है to try out certain things. So
okay.
it's actually a very good move in that
I
aspect.
want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the pressure that comes with being a United manager, okay, which has been the downfall of basically all the managers in the recent times. Okay, people come with all their mind-blowing ideas into United. The team is not always ready. United has never, never, ever had a problem of quality of players. Okay, you never had that thing, okay, we just do not have players to play. You always had good quality of players. The problem has always been the coach not being able to implement whatever he wanted to implement. Okay. And now, even now, you have good players. But again, United comes, you're bringing him in when you're already in a worse of a condition. So his first job is to get you winning some games, right? And as Manish has already pointed out, we might see him play four at the back as well. Okay. Which
Mm-hmm.
is, again, him doing away from his actual philosophy, which I think is a problem with any manager that goes to United. They come with an idea, but then they go to United, they realize that the pressure is far too much to handle, and maybe we should do the damage control first, and then we would think about maybe playing the way that we want, which for me is not the right way, but I don't know. I mean,
Okay,
a
to
lot.
answer your question, to
Yeah,
this
my
question
question
about the
actually, sorry for cutting off. My question is essentially is that do you see him coming coming in and saying that, okay, I understand that there is pressure in Man United, but I want to play my way and I want to continue like that because that's the way to establish a team. Or you see him coming in thinking that, okay, let's improve United, get to a certain position, then maybe I'll think about playing my style. Where do you see it?
No, it will be his style because that is his forte. He cannot be like doing that damage control and all that. And talking about four at the back, I said it in a tactical way, not like he has to survive and like he has to do
No,
firefighting.
wasn't that true with
And
Ten Hag as well? Ten Hag was also that kind of manager who
nahi
would
bhai,
just play his own style
okay,
until
it's
he came into
actually a fair
United and
question.
absolutely
Let,
caved
let
no,
into
me answer
pressure.
that. Look,
I
if
okay.
Tenag, if Tenag during that interview had our directors, okay, first of all is that you talked about the mess that we had. And me, if I even to a smaller extent, if I consider myself as a sensible fan rather than a fan who just goes overboard because a new person is coming, new player is coming, etc., etc. I am thinking in terms of the fact that
That's fired.
what we as a football club have changed. We have
Mm-hmm.
changed the entire structure, which was never there.
Okay.
David Gill was the last successful person. Everyone attributes success to Sir Alex Ferguson, but a big part of success was David Gill. He was the right hand man of Sir Alex Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So, ever since that, even under Glazers, we never had that director of football who took care of purely football operations that works directly with the manager. Now, when Eric Ten Hag was hired, he was क्या इंटरव्यू लिया पता नहीं but he was the best person available out there. यूरोप में चर्चा चल रहा था. We got him. But did
Okay.
we ever ask him, are you comfortable in English? Because the English media is going to kill you. It is very well documented that English media is crazy. You and I know that. ये फैक्ट चेक हुआ था? नहीं. क्यों नहीं हुआ था? डायरेक्टर नहीं है. सेकंड थिंग, वेयर वाज ही आस्क्ड कि भाई हमको ये स्टाइल में खेलना है फुटबॉल, तुम आईएक्स स्टाइल यहां इंप्लीमेंट कर सकते हो क्या? ये पूछा गया था? नहीं पूछा गया था. कैसे पता चला? क्योंकि वो खुद आके प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में एडमिट किया, आई कैनॉट प्ले द आईएक्स वे. दैट
Mm-hmm.
मीन्स इंटरव्यू में क्वेश्चन ही नहीं पूछा था.
Mm-hmm.
क्यों? डायरेक्टर नहीं था.
Right,
So
just
Okay.
as a
to
fan, if I am a sensible fan, then I am thinking मेरा जो अभी डायरेक्टर है who knows football, ये क्वेश्चन पूछा होगा क्या? अब मैं तो नहीं जानता ना वो इंटरव्यू अटेंड. आई डिड
नहीं
नॉट
यार,
अटेंड द इंटरव्यू. एटलीस्ट
पूछा होगा यार, ऐसे थोड़ी ना यार, इट्स अ बिग क्लब भाई,
That is
इट विल
big
बी
अरे
leap
पूछा
actually.
ignored.
होगा तो
Yeah.
मैनेजर आके कैसे बोल रहा है आई कैनॉट प्ले द आईएक्स वे?
Because the way he wanted to play, maybe he did not have players. Maybe he had players, but
But
he
he was
couldn't.
given a transfer veto to get the players on his
Okay,
on
fine.
board to
But
play
Ah,
let's
that way,
just
right?
that's why we have Anthony, na? That's why we have Anthony.
that's it.
That's why we are wondering, right?
No, no,
and then
see, let's just say that he had all the injuries and everything, and then he was forced to not play like Ajax. I remember having this conversation last season, and I think you were also of an opinion that, okay, you just have so many injuries that at this moment, if he thinks about implementing his position, is going to be cut open. Okay, and I agreed to that, a little bit to that, क्या बोलते हैं अपना, your idea as well. But the thing is, and I let's leave Ten Hag behind, okay? I just want to specifically understand because you guys understand United and the pressure and the expectations basically at the moment, right? And you can say everything about the new coach coming in, that okay, he has his ideology, his philosophy, is going to play his way. He doesn't know any other way to play. But then he's coming to United, where you just cave in. Okay, I still want to understand. You know the players that you have. You know where the position that you are in, and you know how the new coach plays. Do you think he will be able to play his way, or you think that he will have to start just using the players in some whatever way or something
Okay,
like
let
that?
me give you a scenario. Let's say he implements three center backs.
Got it?
And let's say Amorim का जो central center back है, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
he has to be really good with the ball. Other
ठीक
two
है,
can be a little average.
ठीक
That's
है,
fine.
ठीक
They
है,
can maintain structure as per the central defender, but
ठीक
the
है,
central defender has to be really good on the ball.
ठीक है.
Let's say हमारे चार डिफेंडर है, उसमें
Hmm.
से दो इंजर्ड हो गए, and one of them is a central defender who
Take
plays
injury out of the
TV.
equation. Take
हाँ,
injury out of the equation.
नहीं
Okay,
नहीं,
let me give you the
वो बताना ही
scenario.
पड़ेगा इंजरी,
I don't.
because
नहीं नहीं.
because
That's why I'm
Ten
not
Hag
going
could
with
not
that. ठीक है.
implement certain ideas and then he got the sack. A big part of that is injury only. A big
नहीं.
part of that is injury only. ठीक है, इसीलिए मैं बता रहा हूँ, there is a very fine line between trying to implement, trying to win and trying to implement philosophy etc. मेरा ये मानना है, तेरा your question was will he implement three at the back or will he try to survive by playing four at the back and all that.
Mm-hmm.
In the
मैं
ideal
चाहता
situation,
हूं
will he
मेरा
be able
मैनेजर
to
फोर
do
एट
it?
द बैक खेले, अगर उसको पता है कि इंजरी है, एंड हम गधे के जैसे थ्री एट द बैक कोई यंगस्टर को लाके
नहीं
बोला कि
bro,
हारना
नहीं
नहीं
bro.
है गेम.
You're not
नहीं,
understanding my question. ठीक
but
है.
एक
Let's
हाँ,
not take injury into account. Okay.
ओके,
I'm saying you
इंजरी
have
निकाल
your
दी.
players. You
ओके,
have your players. You
ओके,
know the quality of your players at
ओके,
this moment. Okay.
ओके,
He starts implementing his style with this thing, but
हम्म,
he doesn't win. Okay.
ओके,
Fine. It might be a difficult setup to play with these players, and
हम्म,
maybe it's like the wingers in PL are really good. Okay, you give them that space, and they're going to exploit it. Okay,
ओके,
so maybe you do not get the success that you want in
हम्म.
initial 3-4 games or whatever. You win is switch, okay, but you do not do well in other matches. Now, do you think that he has the freedom to go his way still, like with the new setup, new structure, and everything? Or does he have to now cave in a little bit? Where is United now
100%.
as a whole structure, as a club? Where it is?
Look, when you're an astute manager, right, and you're intelligent and you're called a tactician and etc., if you cannot change formation and adapt and play to your players' strengths, what good of a manager are you?
adapt की
We are
बात नहीं
already
कर
doing
रहा हूँ.
wrong
What
there.
if you're playing
Hmm.
really well and still losing some games, and then the
Hmm.
pressure is
Ah,
building
then he
because
will
you're not
persist.
getting points?
Then he will persist.
हाँ,
Then he will persist. मैं इस पॉइंट पे कर रहा हूँ, if three at the back doesn't work,
but
if
वो
you are
allow
suffering,
करेगा
No, man.
United का
Like
pressure.
the three
United
at
player
the
pressure will
back,
quality,
allow कि
the
you're
three at
still
the
in
back
13th rank.
See, three at the back might not be working, not because the system is not fine, okay? Not because that the tactics are not fine. It might also be because that your players are not exactly one-to-one correct players for the positions that he wants to play. Okay. In the intensity that we play in PL, like a split second basically gives you a gap where the other team can get a run on you. So
actually
my
देख,
point being, you might be playing okay. Let's just say they are not playing perfect also. You might be playing
you are
okay as well.
asking me a question
Hmm.
without zero sample pace. Having a
No, I
manager
have the
coming in,
sample space of
नहीं नहीं,
United not being kind to the managers who are not doing well. That's your sample space.
क्या क्या?
The sample space is United job being not kind to the managers
अच्छा,
who are not exactly doing well. That's your
I
sample
would
space.
Look,
I
यार,
would like to
we
add
we have
one thing to
we
it.
have gone through multiple models. We have gone through having managers not having say in transfers. Then we went to Eric Ten Hag having say in transfers. Did that work? No. It took us 11 years to understand that the footballing structure is actually very important. Yeah, you can come back to me as a defense saying Real Madrid don't have a footballing structure. How are they succeeding?
Yeah, they have Papa
Different kind
Paris.
of a beast. They go for marquee signings. They get the best manager
Quality
out
players.
there that can manage the egos, and it works. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो चाहिए. United can't be that. We won't always go after marquee signings and all that. ठीक है? So it needs a footballing structure.
You just pay the money for the marquee signing. You don't get the marquee signing.
No, we just pay the money for a non-marquee signing.
No, no. My point
You
being,
pay
you the
marquee
pay
money
you
for
pay the marquee
non-marquee
money,
sign.
but you do not get the signing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Call it that way.
Yeah.
I'm
So
glad we are all
all
on
that
the same
madness,
page.
all that madness, if you do these kind of madness in the transfer market, you know you are a Liverpool fan sitting right here. He's a Arsenal fan. There's the Spurs who also implemented structure after Patrici.
Yeah.
Ask yourself first of all. Ask Amit first of all. You'll get all your answers. I don't know. I don't know. Need to even tell stories here. What makes a football club? अगर तुम
अभी के
स्ट्रक्चर
लिए
एस्टेब्लिश
Again,
करके
again, I
अभी
mean,
के लिए ना
see, that's the thing.
राजेश
एक
We
क्वेश्चन
have
एक आंसर
had
बता
this
देता हूँ
discussion
फिर
हाँ
चले
already.
जाओ
हाँ
तुम
हाँ
ठीक है.
एमोरिम टेनैक की जो सब्जेक्ट्स है डिस्कशन में वो भूल जाओ जस्ट इमेजिन टेनैक कमिंग इन एज अ इनियोस रिक्रूट
Hmm.
तुमको क्या लगता है टेनैक सक्सेसफुल नहीं होता टेनैक को टैक्टिक्स नहीं आती उसको सही प्लेयर्स मिलते हैं उसको बराबर एंथनी जैसे गवार नहीं मिलते
खुद ही
उसको
लेके
क्या
आया
है
भाई.
वो खुद लेके आया.
खुद लेके
अरे
आया
क्योंकि
भाई.
वहां पे
अरे
कोई
तो
था
उसको
नहीं
श्रेय
रिसर्च
नहीं
करके
मिलता ना
बताने के लिए कि यहाँ पे ये अच्छा प्लेयर है
ठीक है
करके अभी
ठीक
है ना
है
ये बोल रहे हो वो
नहीं नहीं देख, again, I understand all your points, man, you know, लेकिन the
अरे
core
जब
of
You
the
understand
core
your
of the problem,
points, all my
you're
points,
not
but you actually
understanding the
don't
question that I'm
understand
saying. The
anything
core of the
that
problem is
that
he's
a
still
proper
going
footballing
to be.
structure is required to be successful. There is a structure
अच्छा
of football at Arsenal,
What
and
is
yet
the
they are unable to
question,
win.
सर अभी
Rajesh? What
मैं
is the question? You have all this structure, but being getting that structure doesn't change the fact that you are Manchester United. Okay, you're not supposed to be at 13. You're supposed to be under top 4. That's the pressure of a Manchester United
Season has not
coach.
ended, bro.